Hi everyone, I'm here to do a review on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 5, Episode 3. I think it's called Call Me Miss USA, I think. And it first starts off with Greg and Nene. They're at like the nail shop and they're getting their feet rubbed and getting a pedicure. And Greg is talking about how he wants the keys to Nene's house in her heart. And Nene just not wanting to hear it. She keeps turning him down, but he keeps being really persistent with it, and it gets kind of annoying. But Nene keeps her cool or whatever. What's happened after that? After that, I think Phaedra and Kenya might meet up. They meet up at some restaurant or a bar or whatever it was, and they was just talking, and Phaedra was telling Kenya about how she was doing a workout video, like to work out your butt or whatever, and Kenya was talking about how she needed to get like a personal trainer and a nutritionist or whatever, and Phaedra had told her that her husband Apollo was one, and she was like, "Oh, okay," and they was giving each other ideas, and Kenya said that she should get pregnant. She said that Phaedra should get pregnant, and show how girls could work off all the weight and get back into shape or whatever. And, Phaedra wanted to work out. She said she wanted to actually do business with Kenya. And she said she really likes Kenya because she's kind of crazy or whatever. But she liking her right now because she ain't dealing with none of the bull that Kenya be doing. Like, if Phaedra, they probably going to show them getting into it later on during the season. If Phaedra decides to do like a party or whatever, or like something to celebrate people, and she messed up on something, Kenya probably going to say something. Let me see what happened after that. I'm trying to remember everything that really happened. Okay, Kim talking about moving back. I guess she's going to move back to her townhouse, even though she doesn't want to. But she's going to move back to her townhouse or whatever. And she was complaining about how she spent $40,000. Well, her husband spent $40,000 to get all those flowers put in front of their house. Like, why you spent that much anyway? So she want all the flowers to be, I guess the people who was going to come move the house or whatever, she wrote a note telling them to rip out every single flower out of the garden or whatever. So let's see. After that, or before that, whoever it was, Porsha, I think her name's Porsha Stewart. She's a new girl that just came this episode, and her grandfather has he made his own little charity for kids, and he was a civil rights activist, and he was best friends. He was a good friend with Martin Luther King. So, sorry, scratch my brow. So she meets up with Kenya, and she invited Kenya to come to her little charity party that she was having, and Kenya, she gets on my nerves. She feels like people be inviting her places because she famous. You not famous. You need to stop all that. Okay, you not famous. All right. She inviting you because she being nice. All right. She didn't have to freaking do it. Especially if she knew how you were, she wouldn't have invited you. You need to stop all that. All right. Because I didn't know who you were. I ain't even watched Miss America, and I knew who Vanessa Williams was. I knew her because of Colors of the Wind. I knew her. She was in some movies. I can't remember all the movies she was in, but I remember watching her movies. I know her more than you, and she beautiful. She look way better than you, so you need to stop. But anyway, yeah, they was having a conversation, and then all of a sudden, Porsha goes to start asking her, is she married, or is she getting married, or does she want to have kids, and how many kids does she want to have, or whatever. And can you kind of feel violated? I kind of understand where she came from, but personally, I wouldn't have cared if she would have came at me about like that, because it's maybe personal, but it's not personal. It's not like she asking Kenya what dude she messing with or whatever. It's just like, are you married, or like, do you want to have kids? That's not really nothing personal to me. It's personal, but it's not really like invading your privacy. You know what I'm saying? That's how I took it. Just Kenya just needs to sit down or something, whatever. She just gets on my nerves. But her skin was looking better this episode. It really was. And after that, I'm trying to think. I think the next part was when Kandi was in her old house, and her aunt and her uncle were there, and her cousin were there, and they was helping her move out, and they was just talking or whatever. And the uncle's funny, cause you know how like people are like your uncles or whatever, like they'll exaggerate stuff. He's talking about how he had left the whole refrigerator or whatever. Refrigerator looks like what, 500 pounds or more. You really didn't just pick that up with your whole back and they weigh twice as much as you. Okay, anyway, but yeah, you have them family members that be like exaggerating stuff. That's how he was, and he one of them blunt ones too. He just start talking about random stuff, talking about that something, I can't remember what he said, B.O.B. or something kind of Viagra or whatever that be working, because he found Kandi had asked what was one of her Kandi bedroom products doing downstairs or whatever. And as I forgot what they were talking about. Oh, they was basically moving out, and Kandi was just basically talking about how she can't believe she's actually moving out of a house that she lived in for 15 years. And I actually like how Kandi did herself. Like, she has a nice, that was a nice house. And she moving into a way better house, but she actually was just saving up her money. Even though she was making a lot of money, she was saving up her money, and she was still staying in that house. And that was really good. And somebody actually wants to lease out the house, so she's moving all her stuff out the house so they can go in there. She's still gonna get paid from them giving her money. Her cousin, I don't know what that skin disease is called, but one of my cousins have it. And I've seen other people have it. I've seen worse conditions of it. I've seen one lady that was like completely like white, like completely like her skin pigment was gone, which I could tell that she had the skin disease, because like there'll be like little spots of like her real skin color or whatever. But yeah, her cousin had that kind of little skin disease or whatever. I wasn't really bothered about it, but I just noticed it. What happened after that? Oh, Cynthia had went. Okay, Nene is going to New York to promote one of her sitcom shows, and Cynthia is going up there because she has a modeling photo shoot or whatever. And they meet up, and Nene's getting her hair done, her makeup done, and Cynthia was just talking about how Nene needs to get on a train, because Nene never got on a train or whatever. Nene acts like she's not. I don't know how to explain it. She acts like she's too good for that. I like Nene, but sometimes she be reacting like she's too good for certain things, like to get on a train or whatever. And Cynthia's talking about how she has different experience, because Cynthia came to New York broke or whatever. She had to work her way up and everything, and Nene really didn't have to work her way up in New York or whatever. So, and Nene was she was being reluctant to, get on a train or whatever. It was kind of annoying, but yeah, they did go to the subway, and what threw me off is that Nene went over there in some high heels. What you doing going over there in some high heels? What's wrong with you? You gonna be standing? The majority of the people that be in the train be packed, so you gonna be standing. But when they was in the train, there was these girls that saw her, and they was like, "Were you on Glee?" And she was like, "Yeah." And they was like, "Oh, we're being aspiring art actors." I'm sorry, I keep pulling at the back of my head, but they said they was trying to be aspiring artists, and she was talking to them about everything. And after that, Kid pisses me off. Okay, I think that was her husband. I wasn't really paying attention to his face, but I think that was her husband that was trying to teach her how to use a fire extinguisher. She acted like she couldn't use it. He had like a piece of paper and he threw it on the ground and he acted like it was on fire. And she just stood there looking stupid. And he was like, "Come put it out." And she was like just blaming it on that she pregnant and stuff like that. And in the back of my mind, I'm sitting there like, okay, well, let your house catch on fire. Watch it's gonna burn down because you want to be lazy. You just lazy anyway. I bet you after you have that baby, you still gonna be lazy anyway. You ain't gonna do nothing. You just gonna sit there with that fake wig on. I can't stand her wigs. Them wigs get on my nerves. What else happened after that? Okay, I'm trying to think of everything. Oh, earlier, way further in the beginning, Phaedra and Apollo were talking about their video, and I like how they work together. I really do. I like how they work together. They can disagree and agree on things, and I just like what kind of team they have. But anyway, further on, blanked out. Kenya goes to Porsha's little charity event, and it's very nice. It's a very nice house, and Kenya really gets on my nerves because she was just over there talking about the size of the house and just talking about how it looked and how like she didn't like the food. And it was just really getting on my nerves because she's a bitter ass bitch, and she gets on my nerves about that junk. Like she's just bitter about a whole bunch of stuff. And when Porsha was giving a speech or whatever, she said Kenya Moore, Miss America. I think she said Miss America, and Kenya got mad and she said Miss USA. And Porsha actually apologized and she corrected herself and she said, I'm sorry for doing that. And then the whole freaking time after that, Kenya started being stupid and saying that she was cold and like how she didn't like the food and stuff, and she was getting irritated, and she left and walked outside with her friend, and both of them tried to pull a little Kim and not little Kim, I'm sorry, try to pull a Kim and walk about to just leave. But they was waiting on somebody, and the girl had came outside and she had asked them what was wrong. And Kenya made me mad. I feel like she fake as can be. She like to talk all that crap, but when the person come up to her, did she be like nothing? I would have told her straight up how I felt, because the girl came up there saying, isn't anything wrong? And Kenya straight said, no, there's nothing wrong. I'm just waiting for my friend to come get me, or whatever. And, the girl was like, okay. And then they walked away, and then, I think his name is Lawrence. I don't remember his name. The gay dude, who I love. He came and picked him up, and, Kenya started complaining to him about how she felt and stuff. And then talking about how somebody need to do some research. Girl, I don't have to do no research on you. I invited you to my thing, so I ain't doing no research on you. Alright? Because probably there was like 31 women there. The other 29 or 30 were probably way better than you and more known than you. So I don't know what you're talking about. I had to do my damn research. Girl, you better get out of my face. But anyway, so Porsha came back outside and she was telling Kenya how she felt, how the way she was acting was very inappropriate. And Kenya retarded, stupid, mental ass who's acting stupid. Ooh, she just gets on my nerves. Acting stupid. She thinks she ain't do nothing wrong and all this. And she was just really just getting on my nerves. She always thinks she ain't doing nothing wrong. Somebody need to just hit her in her mouth, because she always be talking all that shit. Act like she really gonna freaking do something. Just be talking all that shit. Let me shut up. Anyway. Then when Porsha walked away, she was talking up. Kenya was talking about how she's basically living behind like her grandfather, like she's the grandfather of the niece of or whatever. Which I understand she need to make her own, like her own name or whatever, which I do understand. But she can make her own name, but then again, you also got to see too that she probably will have her own name, like when they pass that charity down onto her, then she will have her own name. But she can still do whatever she want to do. And plus, she the wife of, I forgot his name, Cordell something. He a retired NFL player or whatever. He kind of cute. I mean, his forehead kind of stick out a little bit, but he kind of cute. He treat her, and she has a wonderful body. Like, out of all the girls, like, just to my point of view, out of all the girls on the show, she has the best body. Well, I mean, she ain't got no titties, but that's the only thing. She really ain't got no titties, but, that's alright. But she do have a shape, though. She has small waist and a big butt. Oh, when Phaedra and Kenya meet, Kenya was talking about how, Phaedra's boobs were hanging out or whatever. And they was talking about something, and then she was like, at least they small enough to put in your mouth. Because I think Phaedra said her boobs were like apples, and she was like, at least they small enough to put in your mouth. Boy, I would have told, Kenya ass up. I would have told her off. I'm sorry, I don't even know what I just said a minute ago. I would have told her off. Talking about my titties. Calling that girl titties small. Her titties are small, but shoot. Her husband like them. And you ain't got no husband. I'm trying to talk about somebody's titties. But anyway. Kenya's ass looked weird in that dress. I don't know if I was the only one that noticed it, but her ass looked weird in that dress. When they was walking, my camera slipped. When they was walking out that charity place, her ass looked weird in that dress. It looked fake in that dress. Just saying. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else happened. Can't really think, but yeah, that's basically it. It was boring. It was kind of boring. It really kind of was, because I kept losing interest in it. I think they started playing it like around 8, and they played it all the way to 11. So they had 3 episodes of it, and I like had to go back and forth watching it just so I can review it because it was getting on my nerves. Like, it was really boring. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you. And tell me what you think about the episode.